everyone! So for this video, I'm going to be talking about how I do my digital art, and I focus mainly with character design and how I go about designing characters in the process of drawing in general. So I draw pretty much everything digitally on my phone. I have a Samsung S23 Ultra, and that comes with a stylus, so that's how I'm able to draw everything. My phone is pretty bulky compared to other phones. I do have like a bigger screen to work with, which is really nice. And so now that I'm able to draw on my phone, I use Ibispaint for my software. And so when I plan and begin a piece, I already know like the general topic with what I have in mind. Like if it's going to be just a character, I'm going to work more of like a vertical ratio. And if it's going to be like a scene or a landscape, then I'm going to go with the horizontal ratio. Like before I even start the subject matter, just like knowing like what parameters I'm working in helps a lot. And so then I then start sketching. It helps to work with thumbnails beforehand, just so you know like overall composition. Sometimes though, if I know I'm just going to be working on something simpler, I kind of skip that stage. I just go straight to sketching, and it's just back and forth with like mirroring the drawing, see if it's like proportional, and just kind of like trial and error with like adjusting the limbs and everything of a character, but it's pretty straightforward. So then how I refine my work, once the sketching's done, I usually most of the time just kind of make a cleaner sketch rather than going to like clean line art, because clean line art does take a lot more time. Typically you'll have a stabilizer on a digital art software, which means your lines will be more smooth, but it requires you to draw a lot more slower, so that does take a lot of time. So I kind of prefer not to do that method. So I end up just making a cleaner sketch. I just kind of trace over the same lines until it looks more consistent. I also, when I'm coloring, sometimes I color on the like clean line sketch layer, and I just kind of merge them back and forth. Many artists use layers differently, so depending on what I'm doing also, if it's a character, I would probably just have like 3 layers. The first sketch, the cleaner sketch, and then the coloring, and then I'll kind of like merge the layers as I go over time. If I'm doing like a complex scene or landscape, I'll have like 50 layers going, because maybe I want to like resize a character later on in the piece, because I do work with those type of things in different sittings. With a character is usually like one sitting, but with that I'm gonna have to take like a couple of days on it. And I see different things like refreshing when I come back, so it's good to have like separate layers of that type of stuff. It just makes it easier. They don't have to like redraw everything, which is good. And that's how like I overcome some stuff. So knowing like the technical aspects of the drawing software is good, and just like having an undo button is helpful, because it's way more efficient than drawing traditionally like on paper and stuff. It just saves a lot more time. And so while I'm working, it's kind of like back and forth of whether I can just grind through the whole piece or if I get interrupted. I usually put my headphones on as like a noise canceller, and then I also, to have noise, put on some music so I can get into like a vibe for a drawing, which also goes along with like a character's aesthetic or what scene I'm trying to convey. And I pretty much have everything I need just because it is digital. I always have my phone on me, and my stylus has like a area like where it just pops in and out of my phone. The most I'll need if I'm trying to do multiple things for a scene would be like having a reference picture up on my computer, or just reading something and trying to, on a book and trying to reference that too. But most of the time I have everything I need. And then I guess I do backtrack back and forth. That's probably the biggest setback for me, because I do like seeing alternate versions of a drawing. Like I'll color a character, and then I'm like, oh wait, what if the character had like a different colored outfit on? Or like, what if they were taller? or other things. So I would like modify my drawing just for a bit, and let's say like 30 minutes go by, and then I look at the original version, and then I end up going back to the original version anyways. So it just, that type of stuff kind of like sets me back, but it's good because I can still see that I am following like the best version of the piece possible, which that's the goal, is to create something pretty cool. I'm not sure how I can improve my workspace setup because I can pretty much draw wherever. Usually I'm in like my dorm, but I'm used to like drawing like in cafes, outside, you know, just pretty much anywhere. As long as I can sit down somewhere, that could be my workspace, so that's pretty convenient for me. The value of my art, what makes it meaningful to me is that I'm able to express myself in ways that words can't, and I'm also able to share my vision with others. And since I focus a lot on character design, I'm able to like bring life from some like nothing to something, which is really cool. It's every single time I can never get tired of this process. I can see, as I'm drawing like a figure, I can see the life like coming into their eyes and what they would act like and what they would feel like, and that's really special to me. It's like I'm like creating like a friend, or you know, just like a character is just really nice. You can tell like stories of them and people can relate and connect to them, and I think that's really special, and I don't think that's something I'll ever get tired of. And for the emotions I want to convey with this, I really just want to like inspire people and entertain them and bring them joy, because it's just really nice. I want to tell a lot of stories with my characters about like magical adventures they go on. And sometimes like it doesn't have to be super serious. It's just something like lighthearted and, you know, like a form of like fantasy stuff. It's just really cool to like, how far can your imagination stretch? And I think mostly my work has an emotional or aesthetic impact. I try to like have a character, like depending on the color scheme or like what type of pose they're in, that kind of gives you all you really need to know about them. So if you can have that, like without the character even saying or doing anything, just looking at them and knowing what they're about, I think that like my goal is reached. That's what I'm trying to tell, like it's storytelling. So that seems pretty cool to have like a good, strong like aesthetic and emotional feel. And how an audience perceives it, I just like, it's just something cool. I'm like, oh, nice. It's just something to like brighten up their day. I like making like custom characters for people, and they have their own characters and I draw them, and giving life to them also is really nice, because in the end, I think we're all just like kind of like a community, and just having like these friends, like these character friends of us, is really nice. And yeah, that's my video. So thank you for watching.